What's up, YouTube? SimR2 here. First off, I want to thank Eric over here for catching this article. Appreciate that, Eric. You do a great job, buddy. And it's about a sun-diving comet due to arrive on December the 15th. The first thing I want to do is make sure I don't want nobody panicking or freaking out or acting all crazy. I mean, there ain't no point. I mean, you either got ready or you didn't. You made up your mind. You got ready, you got prepared, you know. These are the things that we prepared for. These things happen over and over and over, and life goes on. I'm fixing to show you that. At any rate, this quakes family, SunGrazer. I mean, you can look it up. The only reason I keep using Wikipedia is because the resources are always down here, and you can look up any of the resources or references to any of this and verify most of the information. It's just easier here because most of it's all put together. At any rate, a family of sun-grazing comets characterized by orbits taking them extremely close to the sun at perihelion, which is its closest point. They're believed to be fragments of one large comet that broke up several centuries ago and are named after a German astronomer, Heinrich Kreutz. I hope I said that right, and if I don't, forgive me. Who first demonstrated that they were related. Several members of the Kreutz family have become great comets, occasionally visible near the sun in the daytime sky. The most recent of these was comet accur in 1965. You're going to remember these dates, which may have been one of the greatest comets in the last millennia, or the brightest, excuse me. It has been suggested that another cluster of bright Kreutz system comets may begin to arrive in the inner solar system in the next few decades, or next few years to decades. Many hundreds of smaller numbers of the family, some only a few meters across, have been discovered since the launch of SOHO satellite in 1995. None of these smaller comets have survived its perihelion passage. Amateur astronomers have been successful at discovering Kreutz comet in the available data via internet. The fact is that 40 years ago, or some 45 years ago, the first fragment of two fragments came by, and of course now we've got word that the second larger fragment may possibly be coming December 14th or 15th. You can read all about this down here. The last time that it came by was in the 1880s, and in fact it came by in two parts then, and that's when they discovered that it was in two fragments. The first of which they believe was around 1843, and then the second one came by. I'm just going to shorten this up because there's so much involved. I got so many numbers in here, it confuses you. You have to read it. At any rate, the second piece came by in 1882 and 83. And of course, you don't need to, look at what happened in 1883. Well, Krakatoa erupted in 1883 when the second piece came by. Now, if you look at, like I said, the first piece came by in 1965, meaning this would be the second piece of the cluster. First piece came in 1843 and the second one came in 1883. And you can look at history, man, and you can see that a lot of good things happened in 1883. I mean, not necessarily good, but good things. I mean, things happened that weren't cataclysmic. Things happened that helped humanity quite a bit. First electric light system employed overhead wiring began service in Roswell, New Jersey. And of course, it was built by Thomas Edison. And this is probably where we screwed up right there. Nonetheless, that could have been a bad thing, actually, it's said. But, you can look through history and see that the human race wasn't even close to being wiped out or anything like that. No. It does show the Krakatoa eruption here, and of course, this could be Yellowstone this time. We have no idea. No volcano could erupt this time. We have no idea. The fact is, between those years of 1883 and 1843 was 1856, height of solar activity through that 150-year cycle that we go through there. And so here we're looking at, so here at NASA site, the Soho Observatory site, they made the announcement that Soho's 16th birthday gift's on its way, and by December the 15th, this new corkscrew comet. Now, you can go to LASCO's coronagraph site here, where they have a segment for SunGrazers here, and you can click on and check on all the sun-grazing comets, and that we've seen many large comets come by our sun. The only problem with this one is its perihelion is extremely close. And here again, there's an article on it, and they're telling the best they can. It comes up from the southern hemisphere, so it's hard to observe with normal telescopes. Nonetheless, they can still see it coming. Some of these astronomers say that it's not going to be a big deal, and of course some say, yeah, well, it could be a big deal. None of them are wanting to cause any panic or anything like that. Here are four possible scenarios, and this guy seems to think that the first two are more likely than not. It could be a huge bright quartz family like the Great Comet of the 1880s or the 1865. Of course it is, because it's the second part. It could just be a nice bright quartz like some of the ones we've seen over the past few years. It could be somewhat large, but not altogether enormous bright quartz like Comet White in 1945. You see, there's one that's 20 years before that. So this thing's been strung along quite a bit. And it already goes on down here to its perihelion, and that's its closest point. And it's a little over 1.2 solar radii. That's from the center of the sun out to its edge. It will skim approximately 140,000 kilometers above the solar surface. That's it's around 100,000 miles. And yes, it is extremely close. I don't think it will survive the encounter. In fact, I think if you look at the past comets that we've had from the Croix family this year, well, there's actually been 7, but there's not a single one that's made it by it yet. In fact, they've all hit the sun this time around. So we got a heads up on a big comet, and it's more than likely going to contact the surface of the sun on December the 15th, and it could be visible to the naked eye. Certainly something we need to keep an eye on, but nonetheless, this is what you're prepared for. At no time, I want to remind everybody, does this pose any threat whatsoever to Earth. In fact, I got it here on JPL. They've given it a name. It's C2011 W3 Lovejoy. And you can look at it, see it's coming up again from the southern hemisphere, or the southern plane of the solar system, up from the bottom, so to speak. At a very steep angle. And again, you can see it goes straight towards the sun and back. It doesn't go anywhere near Earth whatsoever. In fact, Earth's on the opposite side, so the tail will have no effect, even if it was enormous. It's not going to have an effect on Earth. The effect on Earth is going to come from what the sun's reaction is to it. So again, this is what we need to pay attention to: solar activity. I wouldn't rule out the fact that all this solar activity has been due to an approach of a large object, and this very well could be it. Every 100 years or so, this has actually come by. It's been recorded, and it's been seen in broad daylight every time. Actually, both pieces have. But again, I want to make sure everybody understands that's not a word never going to hit the Earth at all whatsoever. In fact, it's more than likely going to hit the sun like the other pieces did. So I just want to put this video out, man. You do your best. Take care of your own. And big old peace and love. Big heads up. Thanks, everybody.